Hello everyone and welcome back to the Quake Pro League. We are in the Americas section now and we are just getting up to our second game. Sib just 2-1 Brick and now we are going over to Effortless versus Dramis. My name is Zoot, joined by Ketchup, and we'll take you through the games.
It's been a constant day of just showing players that absolutely should be going up against each other on a week one. Everything's been close. There have been no 3-0s so far. I know you think maybe that might potentially change with our next series, but so far it kind of has been another day at the office. It's always a good chance to remind those that are tuning in now that this is a weekly ongoing league where the players play for points. The better you do, the more points that you get. It's 2 points per map win. We play all 3 maps. This is not a traditional best of 3. We play 3 maps, and you just get 2 points for a win. If you win all 3 maps as a 3-0, there's a bonus 2 giving you 8 at the end of it. No player so far has earned 8 points, but that might change right now.
I'm thinking the Dramis right now has to take it. If he's going to demonstrate any of what he's learned over the last few months, to me, this is a result that he has to 3-0.
Well, he's been grinding really hard.
Yeah,
sure.
I think he did well at QuakeCon. I think he could have done a bit better, but I also think that he's been working incredibly hard, and he'd got some results like taking a map off Kelson, for instance, that is just incredibly good for him. So I will be actually incredibly surprised if Effortless wins the series. I won't be as surprised if Effortless takes a map, but I really think that Dramis at the moment needs to be gunning for those 8 early points.
But you can always watch it. If he was able to get a map on Kilson, that's always going to be dangerous because, Kilson, the champ, right? So any amount of results versus a player of that caliber means at least your progress is there. At least you're doing something right. However, in the Quake Pro League, where you're going to be facing these guys on a regular basis, this is where consistency becomes important. It's not just about taking a map here and there. It's about being able to win consistently.
Yeah, and I hope that Dramis, is the trajectory which he's going, is going to be continuing upwards in terms of the skill that he's building up. Because he's very active, he's a great guy in the community, and I think that this should be the start that he's looking for in the series. But we've got Effortless, of course, who we'll take a look at too. This guy also he's a bit like Brick in the sense that he hasn't always really been a dueler. He's been very much a team player, I'd say. But he's also very active. He's pretty mean on the rails as well. He's slightly flashy himself, as you can see from some of the shots that we're getting. But I think there's also some inconsistencies in his play, which kind of drop him from having some of the higher level results that we could expect.
But ultimately, again, this is where Quake Pro League gives you the opportunity to try and change that. If you're having results that aren't so favorable, you've got this regular online competition on a weekly basis, and this is where you can undo some of those issues that you're having. And obviously, the better you do, the more you're rewarded. And ultimately, we're always trying to function towards the next big LAN. In this case, it's going to be, Luca Comics and Games. That's one hell of a destination for these players to make it to, and they're going to be gunning for it.
Exactly, guys. We've got some picks and bans too that we can take a look at, so that we know what the story of the series is going to be like. We will be starting on Molten Falls. We've got Slash from Dramis, which I am excited to see. There's going to be the Ranger there. We've got Doom and BJ that will be played by Effortless. We're going to get another DK as well, and get another Veil, in fact, and Awoken, which I think this is the exact same maps that we just saw.
Molten Falls, Awoken, and Veil seem to be some of the most popular maps that we've had today. I think that might be even foreshadowing over the course of the Pro League in general. Definitely Awoken, and honestly now, definitely Molten Falls. They are so popular in competitive play.
This is like very American kind of map picking, I think. If it was like you can the European side, I think like definitely Awoken then. Molten, high chance, Ruins. The thing is you have like Ruins and Blood Covenant, which I think are maybe played a bit more in Europe, particularly Blood Covenant. I think Ruins, though, is also like a very middling map in terms of preferential status from the players. There's also respect for how good your opponents can be there. But anyway, about the series itself. Slash, it's got to be a win, right? Dramis is good with Slash. Slash is mighty strong, but we also saw that strange result earlier between Wenger and Tox, where Wenger was able to dispatch the Slash quite effectively in the end.
And we were all expecting to see really good things from it, but ultimately it was just a change of pace.
We really overhyped it.
Yeah.
That's why I won't overhype it now, but I'm looking forward to the Slash still.
I don't feel like you can ever overhype Toxic Slash.
That
but
is
I feel
true.
like,
That is
but I
true.
feel like in the hands of a player, like, you know, Wenger knew what he was up against, right?
Yeah.
So his strat was to be a lot more slow, kind of just wait for Tox to essentially come to him, and, you know, kind of put a lid on it. It's very hard to put a lid on a champion that goes that fast, but, you know, at the highest level of play, when the players, they've studied their opponents, they know how the other guy's going to play, you can kind of go in with a real solid game plan, you know, because you've got all that information to work with first. I think it might be different here, though. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask you about predictions. You probably already know mine, because I've made it quite abundantly clear. At least 2-1. I think I'm going to actually go with 3-0 for Dramis. You.
I'm going to copy you.
You're copying me?
Except,
that's dangerous.
No, because he's been copying me all day because I'm like 5 for 5 on my predictions so far.
All right, don't be too smug.
However, that said, I'm going to stay nice and civil, and I think 2-1.
What? What a cop-out.
Not a cop-out.
You're not copying me then.
I'm copying. Cop-out and copying. You had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's literally not even a joke there. They just sound similar, and I found that humorous for whatever reason. Are we going to load into the game soon?
You're a
hopefully.
simple guy.
So
quickly.
Can we just end this Porsche's cut? Smack. Oh, waiting for players. Oh God, hell no. Oh, can I get out?
Don't look too anxious.
Cut to a break, please.
It's fine.
But
it's fine to catch up. It's fine.
Why have they changed? Oh my God, they've just made it. They've just made it worse.
Anxiety.
They've just made it worse. You ever seen an internal thing of a kettle going? What were we talking about?
We were talking about predictions and how you are copying out of copying me.
2-1. Dramis.
2-1. See, no, I'm a bit of a fanboy for Dramis because I always respect someone who's really hard on the grind, and I mean like really hard, going at really getting better and better and better. I think he's a rising star, and it's maybe not as much of a prediction as much as this is like the benchmark that he needs to hit in order to meet the work that he's putting in. That I think he should be achieving this. You know what that means?
Yeah, ultimately, I think the fact that he's made it into Quake Pro League is an achievement enough for him and a celebration of how far he's been able to come as a player. But when you are someone that is on a constant grind and you're playing in like, you know, shouts things like, you know, the 40 Lions Den, you know, these tournament series that is hosted by the community, and there's a big NA focus, and that's kind of like the main way the NA scene gets their practice. That's how they get their tournament practice is, hey, this cup's going on, that either Jahar's doing or 40's doing, and they get involved any way they can. Now we're into the Quake Pro League, things are a little bit more regular. Yeah, this is where those online cups and all the experience that you get from those cups really starts to add up. Now we're in the big league.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, unfortunately, I hope I've got some really good things to say at the end for Effortless. It looks like the game is about to begin, everybody. Effortless and Dramis are just about to get set on to Molten Falls. I just hope by the end of the series I've got some really good things to say about Effortless. I didn't get to see a lot of his gameplay at QuakeCon, unfortunately. I think his results were very similar to that of Sibs. He might even be 7th, actually. Sorry, 8th in the Americas region. But he can do better, or can Dramis do better?
I mean, this is just the time to prove it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Week 1, I think, is such a trendsetter, and there's so much storylines that are created by, you know, how someone did in week number 1, and you always kind of reflect on it even by the later stages. Hey, remember week 1 when this person won this crazy map and it changed everything, you know, because maybe a player got confident, or maybe someone finally beat a player they've been worried about the whole time, and it just unlocks your confidence against everyone else.
It just makes me wonder what it's going to look like when we get to sort of Season 3, 4. What kind of results are going to be normal for us by that point? Because I'm expecting that some of these players are still going to be playing through Season 4. I was expecting a lot of them to be playing through to Season 4. We'll have maybe some shakeups happening in both the regions. And then who is actually regularly getting the points advantage later on? That's where we see the grind paying off. And that's where we see the people actually making those tangible results that are affecting their status within the community. Because it's something that it's taken a while to shake up, but Quake Champions has allowed us to do that. Guys, the game has started, though. We have Dramis and we have Effortless. We've got Molten Falls with Ranger and Slash.
Now, the question's always going to be, how do we start things? Effortless has had a pretty decent start, honestly. He's got the LG, he's got the rail. If he's able to get a good opening at the very beginning, he's got the weapons to get the job done, but Slash doesn't really have a hard time navigating and grabbing stuff. That's going to be a rail there on that part of the map, so Dramis can at least get some opening damage here. But Effortless already, I think he's playing the Slash matchup instantly. Like, he's not giving himself away too much, but at the same time, I think he's really nervous about Dramis just going around the corner right as he is. And if Slash does that, there's a good chance she'll win that fight. And there we go, you can hear it a little bit.
Just got to be watching Wenger, right? See how does he deal with the Slash of Tox and rinse and repeat. It's just as easy as that, Ketchup.
Yeah, just monkey see, monkey do.
Well, items are up at the same time as each other, so I'm very curious. Dramis, what an opening couple of rocket, and the follow-up, he doesn't even go to the heavy, he just totally annihilates Effortless.
That looks to me like Effortless was not prepared for the chase to be that fast. That was like, hey, what? He came from where?
He was just so great. He had the rockets, he was straight out the bounce pad. I think Effortless was expecting to have a little bit more time because he would go for the heavy, but Dramis was like, I've done the damage, why would I delay the opportunity? Rockets, or the rail. Dramis was vulnerable for a couple of moments, but he does manage to deliver with some good DPS, and now he's got the speed and the ability to get himself over towards that heavy armor. Rockets, it's so close. LG to tickle, he can't get himself on it, and maybe that's an overcommitment, and he's going to regret having done that. I like the little slides that he's using actually for quick acceleration. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, his movement has been fantastic so far. It's very hard for Effortless to kind of gauge it. Misses the rail. Hitting a Slash going that fast is no easy task. One of the champion's absolute strengths for sure. But now, Dramis, no armor in sight. Plasma Trail, that should be a death. No orb for you. And even if he got the dire orb, I think he probably would have died anyway. But the heavy spawns. Bad position for Effortless. This should be a free kill.
He's used the orb, go for it. Oh, if he was so late to go through there. There's only a limited amount of weapons that Effortless had just then. That was an easy 3-0. He needs to lock this down really soon, not allow Effortless to get back up on stack. Just heard him, Effortless. What are you doing on the bounce pad? He's got the rail in hand, but that is definitely not a move you should have been making.
There's a distinct difference in, I think, confidence when it comes to the gameplay here. Dramis is just playing like a man on a mission. Yeah. And Effortless looks kind of uncomfortable, struggling to find that rhythm. Dramis is just looking like he's doing what he wants when he wants at the moment, and Slash is such a great champion for just bullying your way into a map like this where she can just move so... You can see how fast she's going, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, Dramis is really in trouble. It's awesome to see. Rail, I'd almost rocket jump over, but you've got heavy soon. Maybe I'm just feeling the hype at the moment from Dramis, but...
You're not necessarily saying what he should do, you're saying what you want him to do.
This is what I want him to do, for my own entertainment purposes.
Are you not entertained?
Please comply.
But the control has been fantastic so far. Dramis has had almost every single major pickup. And it feels like Effortless is just constantly being pushed away from them. You know, he's taking so much damage on the way in, and when he finally tries to make a play, he dies on it. Dramis then collects it after getting the frag, and it's like, what was the point? Ooh, that was rude.
Tasty little rail. Effortless needs a couple more of those, but that's a good shot. Effortless is still going to go for that. I like the orb play from him to make sure that he's not in kind of rocketable distance for too long when picking up the item. Effortless was so late on that rail, but he still gets it for free.
I almost feel like, I wonder if he just hesitated for some reason. I for the life of me, I don't know why.
Sometimes I'm going to make a read. I think he's going to be there, but you're actually so confident in your read that you actually can't believe that he is. Oh, the LG going through the teleporter. He somehow survives through the barrage of rockets. Dramis gets one more. I feel like Effortless is making some good reads, but I don't think he's always believing himself.
Oh no, Effortless thinking he had enough to get the kill there with a rocket launcher and a weak Dramis, but the LG was just so crispy. He's chasing it down some more. Changes. The orb's not enough. Can't quite make it to the Mega. This is a very important kill. It's going to give Effortless something that resembles an opening to get back into this fight. If Dramis got that kill, then I'd have been like, oh man, pack it in, honestly. Unless there's some crazy comeback made. Like genuinely, with just how one-sided this map has been so far, even if Effortless got that one frag, it hasn't meant a whole lot. It really hasn't so far.
Effortless is taking big risks to go on items that he hasn't necessarily yet paid the right to get, or earned his right to
There's
pick
only been a couple of fights they've had so far where I felt like Effortless is actually equipped to do anything in it.
Yeah. And I honestly am very surprised that Effortless even got the frag. It looked like Dramis, he almost got cocky for a second, that he could just get over the Mega like that. Deals good damage. The orb hits something. Oh, the fadeaway isn't going to connect quite. Effortless does still have a teeny stack.
Railable, but not anymore. Now it's going to be 100 HP. Now we're back to Dramis just trying to get some information. It's such a popular part of the map to just kind of listen out and find out where the other guy's going to be. out of rockets.
And they're out of sight now. It's going to be the ammo crate to work with. There's mega health that can be picked up by Effortless, so his control, it really seems, is only just beginning in multiples. But this is going to be a little bit of a pain for Effortless to have to deal with the plasma trail to work against. I mean, he can actually go up the map, but that's a really good play from Effortless. He's close to being able to pick up the frag, but he backs off in order to get himself...
Oh, wow, what a shot, though. That rail. Is he going to chase it again? I feel like when Effortless is making a play, there's always a couple of seconds where he's not sure. I really feel like, how many times can we see in his X-ray where he could go in, and he finally does, but it takes him a couple of seconds to make it happen because he's just not confident.
Nice.
Finally now presses the advantage. He's going to get a frag, but there's a lot more work left to do here, so Dramis is still looking fantastic.
Wow, these rails, man. And another. He's making it look so easy. These vertical rails are incredibly difficult to hit.
You could say he's making it look effortless.
Oh god, don't sound proud.
I'm very proud.
Oh,
where are you going? Where are you going?
The Dramis is proud.
Oh my
the rail!
word.
No, that's not the weapon that you want. Oh,
But
he
it
gets
doesn't
the
matter.
rockets. 2 health to go.
How does he survive these crazy fights? That was a really bad time to hit a rail, but he was going so fast, Effortless wasn't quite able to finish it. It almost felt like a bit of a head-on collision there, but
It absolutely was
an 8 frag deficit. Now, Dramis looking so good, and he's now going to have a full stack. Tribolt's going to tickle him at this stage.
Go into that for a second. I'm just expecting Dramis to be really aggressive so often. LG being used, but Effortless is going to drop onto him. And Dramis can't quite get that sturdy lightning gun on the drop down. Otherwise, I really think he could have gotten that frag.
Good shot on the rail too. Dramis has the armor. Oh, he almost dies there. That was almost a rail to end it, but it's unfortunate for Effortless that he couldn't close it. He's in a position now where he hasn't got any more time. In these situations, he has to get the frag, and then he needs to just snowball it down. There's 7 kills to go for Effortless to even tie this up. Make
so
that 8.
Fast. Effortless seems totally unprepared for the speed that Dramis is bringing.
Yeah, he just got uncomfortable, right?
This is actually one of the better slash performances that I've even seen from Dramis. His movement, he looks so much more confident than I've seen him before with his slash movement. That's a brilliant frag, by the way, for Effortless. Nice little midi. Never hurt anybody, but unfortunately it's... well, only put him 7 frags away.
I think it might be.
Way away still.
I think it's too little, too late, especially with Dramis, where the second he dies, it doesn't really look like he's losing momentum. It just looks like it's temporarily putting a a spanner in the works, but it's swiftly being undone. Every time we just look at the difference in speed, for God's sake. Like every time Effortless is running around, he's playing very slow, very reserved, and Dramis is just flying around the map. When a fight finally happens, Dramis has way more stack. Effortless isn't quite well equipped to deal with these fights, unlike the Wenger versus Tox match where Wenger would spring the trap and like make every single shot count.
Yeah.
Effortless is still getting, like right there.
Nice.
We need to finally see that a bit more. It's a shame that he's doing it when he's got 1 minute to go. I think it's a too little too late now.
Yeah, because he's taking the risk this time. He's leaving a couple of items up and actually going for it. I think he was maybe playing a bit too conservatively previously. Whereas Dramis seems to be a bit more like, if I have an opportunity early on, I'm going to go in and finish the job. It's a really tricky skill, actually. And you see, I don't think anyone can perfect it, but we definitely see people with incredibly high skill on it.
Effortless should be able to get this mega. He's going to be a bit worried about no armor. That 50 is going to be there, but isn't going to be enough versus Dramis, who has been hitting some of absolutely miracle rails. The close range fight again. Orb's not really going to do much, but he's going to reposition and catch Dramis off guard. It's hard to get excited for these frags, though, when it's definitely not going to work out, and it's not enough. Dramis is going to take this one.
Frags still help, though.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
overall, it's not bad, but yeah, at that stage, it's a bit like Dramis isn't entirely bothered. What he wants the most aren't frags at this stage. He's smelling the potential of points. Stage 1 is complete for Dramis as he wins the map 11-5 there. Rails from both the players are perfectly decent. We're looking at the damage. We've got about 600 advantage for Dramis. Control advantage as well. And when you got both control and damage advantage, you know as the opponent to that you've made two very crucial errors there. It's not really errors like in themselves, but either your damage needs to be amazing or your control needs to be amazing.
Looked a bit to me like it took Effortless a while to get online, and on the opposite end of that, Dramis was fantastic from, you know, like the starting point essentially, and you know, you were excited to see his slash in action. I think you got what you were after. You got the performance you were looking for.
The hype was worth it, absolutely.
Now we're going into our next map, which is going to be Awoken. Now, Awoken, I still feel like this is kind of like a Dramis map. Like, surely this is a map that Dramis could do quite well on if he's got this fast movement. Let's look at the picks right now.
Got Visor to Doomslayer. Fairly even matchup there, champion-wise. I maybe don't give Effortless enough credit. This is going to be a very different matchup to what we just had. So there's every chance that Effortless can take it, but I just think that Dramis is... I rate him highly is what I'm trying to say.
I think, do we feel like of all the maps that we have, I know I predict potentially a 2-1 if Effortless is able to come online, and you said 3-0. If there is one map that could be a map, do you feel like Awoken is the one Effortless has the best chance in?
Yes, I do. And it is his map pick, so would make sense in theory, but I would probably say that anyway. And maybe Molten Falls, but just Dramis' slash was just too good.
But I think that's we were talking about the grind that some of these players are starting to have, and how Dramis has been intense with his training. Because ultimately, you know, he has really sat and decided that he loves Quake Champions and he loves competing, and he's going to grind for whatever comes next. And Quake Pro League was what came next. So it's a perfect avenue for him to really channel and show everyone how far he's come as a player. Because Dramis, you know, a couple of years ago wasn't really on a radar at all.
Not really. I mean, he was around because he's been active within the community.
Yeah.
He's been someone in the North American scene who you get used to seeing day in, day out in all of the online tournaments and things like that, but hadn't necessarily made his mark on the map yet. And I think at QuakeCon, this QuakeCon just passed, he had 19 players to go against, and I think he really got to... his opponents started to really recognize him for what he was able to do. And that's almost one of the more important things. It doesn't matter so much about the spectators, you want to be respected by your peers as well, right? I think that's what he earned.
But now we're loading up map number 2, Awoken. A great rocket there from Dramis, getting some of that initial damage, but... Here we go, Effortless with the turnaround on the rail. That's a start and a half that he's absolutely needing at this stage. No, Zoot's already remarked that if there's one map that Effortless could potentially win, it is going to be Awoken. It was his pick. Doomslayer is always one of the more dangerous champions. It's mobility through and through. Dramis now trying to pepper down some rockets. And he control Effortless again, the chase down. Looking really good. Oh my...
Roof.
Oh.
Could not quite keep himself in the map then. And Dramis still with that okay control, looking for some more middies as we've got Doom just sailing through the air, double jump and some airtime from the rockets. Oh, the chase down there from Effortless, not bad LG whatsoever from him. That health was just drilling down. Effortless getting himself a good start on his map pick. Dramis maybe looking to slow things down a little. Has rockets, has LG, is looking to fight in on the heavy armor, and he makes a really, really good deal from that. And the lightning goes spawn. Tribal will be slightly concerned about. Oh, that is nice. That rocket, he can't escape from this. Tribal still trying to get as much damage as he possibly can, but no escape as soon as that rocket propelled him just a couple of feet forward. We've got the heavy to look at very shortly, and Effortless with an advantage. It's gone.
I feel like it's been quite an emotional 2 minutes so far. It's been extremely much more back and forth than we saw in number 1 now. But the piercing sight's going to get popped. Dramis gets one initial rail. I think it's very, very smart that Effortless didn't try and take that jump. He would have been just giving that extra rail angle on the silver plate. But it is Dramis chasing it down. I don't know how that rocket missed. That's unfortunate.
That's a slap your keyboard kind of moment right there. He really should have been closing out that frag. If it wasn't for the rails that he was going for earlier, he definitely should have found it, moving it into the lightning gun room. He kind of over-aggressed. He committed right into his face as if, I should have the frag by now, but now you can just rocket me.
I feel like with Dramis there too, it's a kind of unfortunate that you look at the angles he was hitting the rocket, and it just so happens the map was probably a bit deeper than he expected. So instead of the rockets hitting the splash damage, it just completely missed and no damage was dealt at all. You hate to see that kind of thing happen, but you know, these little bits of map awareness, they matter and they count when it matters most. Dramis Really trying to fight towards this heavy in the night as much as possible. He's got to land some extra rails. He has to make Effortless pay for it, and now he's taken a lot of damage in return. Looks like Effortless is trying to force him away. Overstaying his welcome a little bit, potentially at risk of taking damage, but he's going to get away scot-free. Eats a rail for his troubles, though. Dramis now. Can he capitalize? Looks like he's still looking to be quite aggressive. Effortless completely caught off guard.
Whoa.
He was not ready for that angle
That much LG to rail? That's ridiculous. And he finds the rockets up by connector. Pretty unreal that Effortless allowed him to do that. Seems slightly unaware of where he was being attacked from. There was even a light armor that he couldn't get over to quick enough. Tri-bolt providing some good entry damage. Actually, that was some good LG from Effortless. He barely had a chance to get that, but he still maximized his opportunities. Oh, the rockets! Lost a little fade away, and Dramis walks right into it.
Very unfortunate step to the side there. Just, I think, underestimating the timing of the rockets, I imagine. That one moment where you just forget about it.
Yeah.
And you get punished the hardest. Effortless barely in the lead.
Can't make that jump.
Yeah, a little bit of, I guess, failed execution coming from Dramis this map in comparison to Molten Falls.
It's been, clumsy is the wrong word, but slightly chaotic.
Unoptimal.
But it's okay, because Effortless has been finding some control on this occasion.
But
his control, although it's been overall a little bit better, there's been some moments where he's just not necessarily had the observation. But that nail gun, that is painful, man. Highest DPS weapon right there, just shredding.
That was a Doom Eternal plasma rifle right there. Literally just running in and melting it. Massive damage, but very actually, honestly, the weapons that he had, that was quite brave as well. Like, that was just, I know you're going to be here, and this gives me the highest chance. Like, very easy to kind of mess up that nail gun.
Gross needs to back off against up that mega health somehow. Takes the rail! He can't get onto it fast enough. He's just trying to dodge one. But Effortless says bang on.
And now Dramis has caught off spawn. Very weak and in no position to take a fight. What a shot. Can he get another kill here, maybe?
This is so aggressive, though, from Dramis. He's trying to bully his way back onto the map. He needs to settle down. We're 5 minutes into this. He needs to take the next minute to chill because a comeback is absolutely possible in the last 4 minutes. He needs to just firstly ensure that this mega health goes towards him. Can he commit to it? He really fought hard for that, and Effortless let him have it, to be honest.
I think Effortless must have been just confident in his ability to last-minute quick switch to the rail and hit it. It's how he's actually got quite a few of these frags so far. But, I mean, in that instance, it just took him way too long. We didn't even see the rail come off, but that was a great shot. Dramis. He's not going to be one-shot kill from the rail now, but a defensive rail at this HP is at least enough to put you on the back foot.
Oh,
but Dramis, I mean, he's dedicating to the push. Risky business, but fortunate that Effortless decided to back off.
Yeah, that means that Dramis has just got played off of the mega health, so he might have got a frag earlier, but it's costing him valuable time. Rendezvous over in the LG room, and it's not favorable. He just barges in, and he's halfway into the room as Effortless lands in there with full stack. Now Effortless is going to get one more. He goes with the rail, can't land the shot. Oh, through the portal! Dramis is just running willy-nilly there.
And Dramis caught on the spawn, trapped perfectly by Effortless, just short of an immediate double kill, to be honest. But now it's enough to keep him behind. 6.5 minutes down. Effortless now with 5 more kills, and he's looking to make it 6. And he will.
Yeah, this is dominant now. I don't know what's happened to Dramis, because I've been giving him so many props.
Just falling apart,
I cursed him some. But really, he's been so over-aggressive. In situations where he hasn't attained the control. Like, he's just trying to purely out-combat Effortless. And Effortless, his combat skills are pretty decent. You can't just do that to him. You still have got to lock those fundamentals down before you can secure a map wins against him.
And Dramis was a little bit of doubt. Oh, the chase! That would have been a great rail, but the miss. His death was guaranteed. Now, I mean, we can't. Let's not count out Dramis now. There's less than 3 minutes left to go. If Dramis gets a momentum train going right now, then okay, maybe. But it is always a tall order. Effortless has been playing exceptionally well. Dramis has been crazy aggressive, and a couple of missed rockets. That's the strength. That is the strength of Doomslayer, though. Rocketing him is so risky.
But there's heavy ups. Why is Dramis going in for a fight with rockets against Doom? He's got 4 LG ammunition. You've got the heavy behind you where you could just sustain the control. You shouldn't be in so much of a rush with, what, 2 minutes 45 to go?
I can only imagine that Dramis just isn't taking his eyes off the clock, and he's really concerned about how much time he now doesn't have.
It's like permanently 1 minute to go. That's what the whole game has been. It's just been, I've only got a minute to play, I've got to win now.
Well, guys, I think my game is bugged. I started it and it said 1 minute warning.
Yeah. Effortless is going to get this heavy. Ooh, okay, nice little tickle of damage actually. Really, really important. Effortless is just going to back away. For him now, it's the clock's hitting a point where you just play defensive.
And Effortless, I mean, he's going to have more mobility than Visor. That's what matters. That double jump's going to matter a great deal for some of the center of the map at the very least. Out of rocket, so he can't get the defensive shots. There's the painful click. But honestly...
Yeah, not the weapon you want to click on. Oh, he's going to get caught out here. He's going to be thrown out of the map completely. Dramis has got a really nice stack. Crazy comeback's going to happen in Quake. It's just been spotted. There is the heavy... I'm almost advised a rocket jump up.
That is a stack and a half. I guess the question's going to be, can Dramis make this count? You know Effortless is going to run away.
My God.
The Berserk has been popped, and almost like a desperation. I thought he was going to try and use the Berserk to run away.
Make us up, though. Effortless thought that he was going to already get caught off over at Mega, but you can't really be going for these hourglasses and so on. He knows that he wants that piercing sight vision. I'd always just rocket jump to the top. Goes now.
If Dramis gets this frag, Effortless will be worrying for sure. However, if Effortless can at least survive in Banana and make it kind of hard to gauge what direction he's going to come from, all he has to do here is waste time. That's going to be the objective. He gets some damage now. Dramis, very, very weak. Effortless should have this! And I think that's it. That's the map over. 1-1.
Sketchy, though, for a moment. But Dramis just gave himself so much to do at the end. And I honestly feel like his pace of play when making the comeback at the end is just the same way that it's been the whole map. He was just permanently in that state of mind where he just needed to fight when he missed 8 minutes of opportunities where he could just settle back into control and buy some opportunities the slow way. I felt the opportunity to get 8 points with Dramis there is just been thrown away a bit, but also fair play to Effortless for handling everything that Dramis threw at him, because it was almost like Dramis was trying to cheese Effortless.
Yeah, and ultimately, you know, we can never take away from composure either. And Effortless was exceptionally composed on the second map, because a lot of those moments, like those crazy little weapon changes and just the general fight, it was just smooth for Effortless. He made very, very little mistakes, and yeah, I feel like Dramis was kind of trying to just strong arm his way into that second map.
I don't like to use the word cocky, but it feels like something someone who kind of assumed victory would maybe do. I mean, but I honestly don't know their thoughts. But it's just to me I'm only that aggressive when I feel really confident, and it feels bad when it doesn't work.
I mean, some of his plays just felt a little bit like autopilot. You know, like that autopilot offense almost, and Effortless was always wise to it, and that's what matters. It's going to be a 1-1 now, so once again, 2-1 territory.
It's kind of blown the series wide open, though, in terms of who's going to be getting the lion's share of the points. Because now, all of a sudden, I'm thinking that, well, Effortless is a lot more composed than Dramis. Both of them have actually been pretty mechanically on point with their shots. But Effortless was making just far fewer mistakes there. It's going to be down to who's going to be either forcing the errors or just being as disciplined as possible going into the last map, which is Veil.
Yeah, but so let's talk about the final map. Veil of Nath, the champion selection is going to be Effortless going in with the BJ Blaskovic and Death Knight for Dramis. So ultimately, it's just going to be two close-range boys doing damage. So that's, we're expecting the burst damage. We're expecting those close fights. It is Veil. That's kind of where you see it anyway. But yeah, with how those two maps went, do you have any, I think, plans to change your prediction? Do you think that...
I don't think I'm going to change my prediction. I think, well, my prediction's kind of already broken anyway, but I definitely thought that Dramis is going to win. So going with that, I think I don't have any necessary preferential treatment for either of the champions that are being picked on this. I think it's a fairly close matchup with BJ and DK, but Dramis just needs to keep his head screwed on, and he should be able to, not comfortably, but he should be able to swing a win.
But that's always what you get concerned about whenever we have the talking point of players that have been doing the recent online grind. The moment the tournament is live, this is where the extra feelings that you're not used to come about. Because I'm not saying that Dramis, by no means am I trying to push that, Dramis is a complete amateur, because he's not. But if you are less experienced in constant competition, and you're now in something as large as Quake Pro League, this is the worldwide circuit for competitive Quake. And if you're in that, you think about that. You know, when the match is alive and you're playing on stream and
Yeah.
you're on the final map, there's no way then there's not this little thought in their head that's like, yo, I'm in Pro League. And if I win this, it's 2-1 to me for week 1, you know, which just has all these different results. And uh-oh, not a good start. You can even hear the gauntlet. What is... Oh. He almost died, though. That was almost
really
a suicide.
close.
That would have been the most amazing way the map could have started. Because Dramis, he's not actually in an amazing position. Effortless now has the Mega. Dramis was extremely weak. He could have just been, I mean, instantly picked up. Kind of like now, actually.
He's just running into a room. Which sounds okay on its own, but he's just running into the rooms. You just shouldn't just run into the rooms. You've got to... Is that room safe? Have you taken a moment to think about where your opponent is in relation to that room? And have you taken the defensive precautions? A bit of spam rockets. He had the rockets available to him. It feels like he needs to slow it down a little bit because it should still be 1-0 at the moment. And now Effortless is just walking all over him. Gets a nice little 2-1. Good. There, he chose the right moment to be aggressive. He knew exactly where Dramis was. He knew the kind of stack that he was on. He knew the weapons he had available to him.
I'm a little bit fearful that with how one-sided Molten Falls was, with how this very, very, very Russian Go style worked out, I'm a bit fearful now that... Yeah, that was such a good kill. I'm a little bit nervous that Dramis is actually trying to take that exact same style and put it on every map just because it worked the first time.
Yeah. It is a concern.
But it is 2-2, so technically we're even. But I think that Effortless has been a bit more composed in this map.
He's been far more composed. I've been pretty impressed with Effortless. He's just getting himself the hourglasses so he can get that dual wield back up as soon as possible.
Nice damage on the LG. Dramis now on somewhat of a back foot. Yeah, that dual wielders just get off the heavy end. Oh my word, the trade. Okay, we're going to stay at a 2-2. And that heavy is still up.
I think Dramis will be slightly happy with this spawn. He gets straight onto the
God.
heavy, but there is a Mega up for Effortless. He has got the lightning gun to work with, so maybe I'm speaking too soon. Lightning gun though, Dramis just suddenly finds a sweet spot, and Effortless was not ready for that angle.
A good payout actually. Dramis being rewarded by a bit more of the cells for the LG too. More ammunition. Kill on the difficult jump pad. Only 1 kill now in the lead as Dramis, but let's not forget, folks at home, this is a really important map because a 2-1, it's the same amount of points that other competitors have been able to reach, and whoever wins that, you know, you want to go into that early comfort zone knowing that you're within the half of players that right now are winning and not losing.
Oh! Uh-oh. That was a little... Whoa! That was a crazy moment there from Effortless. I don't really know how he stayed alive the way he did at the sort of back end of that platform. It always looked like he was doing some of Doom plays.
There are a lot of funky trades going on right now. Effortless is going to immediately pull the trigger on the dual wield, a bit too aggressive. Dramis punishing it, and now he's got 2 frags in the lead. And I feel like Effortless was just a little bit too eager to maybe try and get that revenge frag. And the Mega gets collected! Another suicide! How many of these just straight up trades are we going to have? But now the trades don't benefit Effortless at all, because as long as Dramis is in the lead, and you know the pickups have been taken at similar times, the only person that's going to benefit there is Dramis, because time is being wasted.
He does get a nice spawn in terms of just map position. I'm surprised he didn't go for the rockets and the LG, because he won't have the rockets now. He's going to have Tribolt and Lightning there. And he just gets crushed. He really needed the rockets just then.
Instant Demus, my dude. That was just insane damage. And it's why Death Knight is so dangerous on Veil of Nath. You know, I guess one of the hardest things on those out in the open maps is Death Knight, his Flame Strike only really has a specific effective range, whereas if you're on Veil, it's almost impossible that when you're using it when the time is right, that it's gonna miss.
Good rockets. He's gonna follow
Dead.
through on this.
Finish it.
There we go. Perfect weapon choice as well. Dramis is playing a little bit more reserved. Not reserved is the right word, but just playing the fundamentals so much better.
He's rushing when the time is right, not 100% of the time. Dual wield has been popped. Effortless really trying to get that early frag again, and finally seals the deal.
Very good rail.
Would have been quite a tilter actually to die there, I think, because he's doing so much work, but so far has been kind of unable to finish it. Ooh. Good rail. Nice shot.
There's a little surprise for Dramis. And railed in the butt like that. It's going to be heavy. This is the next port of call. Trying to zone out with a little bit of the Flame Strike. But these rockets is getting close. I thought we were going to get another mutual frag again for a second. Effortless is bringing it 1 frag closer at a time. Now only 2 behind.
He's keeping a nice stack too. That's what's worth paying attention to. Hits the rail. Looking for the second that he dedicates. That was pretty much a death sentence if he missed too, because that would have been a mega pickup and return damage. And Effortless probably wouldn't have been able to run away. So that's composure through and through. Halfway through, that 5-minute warning has already been ticked off.
He's clutching at the moment. He's definitely clutching. He's got the dual wheel. Dramis is in a horrible position. That's going to be 7-7.
Uh-oh.
Dramis was looking so good, but now he's just running into fights left, right, and center, and Effortless has got plenty to share with him.
And
wow.
What a rocket. Effortless isn't going to push too hard though. He is eyeing up his own stack just a little bit, maintaining control instead. There's a really tasty delay in between the Mega and Heavy, so Effortless is in a position to actually take both of them and just keep that cycle running. Now he's chasing it down, getting some more damage to push Dramis away, making it oh so risky for Dramis to take anything that matters.
He doesn't overcommit to that fight either, so even though he's doing good damage and Dramis was basically about 50 health, he knows if he pushes through the choke point, he's going to take a lot of damage, and he can just easily retain control. Just by backing away, getting those major items. Now he knows where he is.
Hello!
Surprise attack, great rockets. LG following up with LG would have been super nice from him just then, but he's keeping position for the mega health. And he seems to be confident that he's going to get the frag at some point, and that's why he's making these decisions. And Dramis just runs right into him. That's his calculation. I don't need to find him. He's going to find me.
But I think that leaves me quite concerned that perhaps Effortless has the download on Dramis right now. I'm very, very concerned that Effortless just knows exactly what Dramis is trying to do. And
timing
if he's being that predictable now, you need to start making frags, you need to start making comebacks, and if the other guy knows exactly what you're trying to do, because, I don't know, maybe he's just a little bit more experienced. Like, there it is again! Just jumping down the chute and getting it in somewhere not too pleasant. But I mean, ultimately, like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Effortless is just, he's in Dramis' head. And I feel like Effortless knows what Dramis is going to do before Dramis knows what Dramis is going to do.
So this guy, I mean, we wouldn't call that an aggressive drop down. He just obviously didn't. It's difficult to want to check your opponents there. I think he's going to push through. He needs to change the weapon that he's using though. Mega straight away from Effortless. Great timing from his side. Dramis backing over towards the rail, and the LG now in the area. He's dropped down completely. He can probably finish the frag if he wants to, but he seems to be thinking about control first.
Dramis has pretty much done nothing to bring himself back into the fight for quite a while. So Effortless is, I think, pretty confident that, yeah, he can just go and stack up. Dramis is eventually going to bring the fight to him. Dramis is almost never going to be as stacked up because Effortless is maintaining control. However, a few of these really crucial shots Effortless has been missing. Dramis on the back foot once more. He can't fight for a single thing. If Effortless catches him now, he's dead for sure. But as long as he's wasting time trying to restack, that's time spent that Effortless can use just getting the armor.
I want Effortless to finish off as many of these kills as possible, because at the moment he's still in kind of the danger zone, only being 2 frags ahead, 2 minutes to go. As long as he keeps hitting damage like this, then he's starting to be safe, but there's every possibility that Dramis can hit a crazy combo. A little bit of fire damage over time, but the mega health is going to cure it. And now 10 seconds until the heavy. He's taking a moment. Oh, the direct rocket on him into the dual wield. Dramis eating that for lunch.
And now...
Or was it dinner? I don't know what is in America at the moment.
Probably lunch for them, closest. Breakfast. Any of them West Coast? I don't know.
No idea.
But I mean, yeah, ultimately, at the end of the day, if Effortless is now able to try and steal some of these kills, it's becoming so much harder for Dramis in general, because clearly he's trying to make something happen, and Effortless just isn't really too worried about it. And now he's got 3 kills in the lead, 1 minute 15 left on the clock. And the damage is constant. And if Effortless feels that he might even be remotely at risk, he's not taking the risk. The biggest risk he's taken in the past few minutes is getting that heavy. And, oh, the rockets have just been phenomenal.
It's a minute for Dramis. He's got to pull out something, and it's got to happen. This mega health, and it's got to be perfect. It's got to be hard from here. Oh, okay. Go, go, go. These 2 items, and go, go, go find Effortless. That's all you have to do. You hear him down below you.
I'm confused as to, actually, I'm surprised he didn't just try and drop down. Like, he has no time. He has no time. And now he's going into the belly of the beast with no other options. The retreat, though, Effortless just running away. And Dramis being a bit too timid to make the push. He has to do it. And he's just given up heavy as well. Giving up that heavy might even be the end of the game. Because, I mean, he can't win these fights anymore. It's going to take him way too long to kill Effortless. GG's, handshakes coming through. That was a fun game while it lasted, but it is going to be over. Effortless is going to take the win, upset the status quo. We're going to be wrong on our predictions.
Yeah, you know what? The experts are going to be wrong as well. Like, I was backing them fully, but...
Effortless coming through, though, coming in hot.
Surprising. Great result for Effortless, though. 2-1 on Dramis. Yeah, I don't know what more to say. I'm super surprised by that.
Effortless, I feel like after that first map, Effortless just turned it up.
Effortless turned it up. He was very solid and he was very disciplined, I think, in his plays. But he needed then just to react to what Dramis was doing. Dramis made it very easy to say, okay, I know what kind of stack you're doing because you're kind of rushing me close to the spawn. I know you've got limited amounts of weapons. There was just so many instances where Dramis is just not taking the time to just hold, think, keep position, and, I don't know, play from there. It felt like a massive cock-up on the side of Dramis.
It is where the inexperience starts to come through a little bit. That's all it really is. I think like it's decision-making, right?
But I see more experience normally in Dramis. I feel like he's more experienced than that he shouldn't be making those kind of mistakes. That's why I hold him to high regard. But that's why it makes me so surprised.
But my general point is like, what separates like players when it comes to a tier of player, I feel like it always comes down to how you make your decisions and making sure that everything you do is as calculated as possible, and you're kind of not doing this crazy reactionary stuff that you've not really thought through as much, because that. Yeah. In many occasions, that may be good in things like online ranked and stuff like that, where you're against like Johnny Donuts or whatever. But if you're in a situation where you're in this pro league setting and you know full well that your opponent is going to be prepared for you, they've known they're going to be playing you for days or weeks or however long it may be. You need to show them a bit more respect in these situations, because Dramis, he just gave himself to Effortless, where he must have just believed, I can run in right now and just get this kill. And it just didn't work.
Effortless showed a lot of respect, in my opinion. And at times, especially in Molten, I thought he showed too much respect. But then Dramis was fine. He was just playing a good, aggressive start, and it was working for the opportunities that he was building. But he built the opportunities on Molten Falls. That was the difference. He hadn't built anything really on Awoken or Veil. And he was just expecting to kind of get the result before putting those... Even though the groundwork was very quick with Slash, he at least did it. He didn't do it with any of the other champions he played.
Well, the important thing to take away is not be crazy disappointed, because it just means it's going to be another 2-1 result. I know we favoured Dramis to win, and he didn't get completely destroyed. That's one of the things. It wasn't a complete wash.
There's no washes happening today.
It was just another 2-1. And we've had a lot of 2-1s today. And we're going to be continuing. And what might be another 2-1 is our next one. Nosfer versus Cygib. That's the match this is the most excited match for me for the NA one so far.
It's also,
or Americas, I suppose, is the accurate term.
I'm very excited for Rafa to hang, but likewise, I'm really buzzing for Nosfer and Cygib. These are two fascinating players to watch. Super high skill. It could be upsetting the players above them in the ranks too. So definitely... game worth watching. So, guys, we're going to go over to a quick break, and when we come back, that is what is waiting for us. See you in a moment.